Friday. He's been out for 6 weeks after being accused of sexual assault. They won the Field of Dreams game in dramatic fashion, but what can the White Sox do in the postseason? Former big leaguer Will Middlebrooks likes this team.
Their starting pitching is unbelievable. Their bullpen, even though they blew a lead last night, is 9 times out of 10 is going to be really, really good and shut you down. I am 100% behind this team.
Will Middlebrooks on Greeny. The White Sox have the biggest division lead in baseball, 11.5 games. They'll continue this weekend series with the Yankees tomorrow night in Chicago. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports running back Dion Lewis is retiring from the NFL after 8 seasons. He played for the Giants last year. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports both Antetokounmpo brothers will stay with the NBA champion Bucks. Big brother Thanasis gets a new 2-year deal. 4-time Indy 500 champ Elio Castroneves headlines the 2022 class for the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America. NASCAR team owner Jack Roush and NASCAR co-founder Raymond Parks will also be inducted.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody. We got ourselves a football game coming up on Saturday. That is tomorrow. Ready to rock and roll. See Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew split some reps, of course, at the quarterback position. And how much will we see everybody else play? What's our guess? Who are we keeping an eye on? Offensive side, defensive side of the ball. Once again on the road here, Brent Martineau at Prime Car Wash, Beach Boulevard. Here's the deal, 20% off. If you mention ESPN 690, you mention my name, Austin's name, Casey's name. Mention anybody. Well, don't mention anybody, but mention us on ESPN 690. 20% off both the Beach Boulevard location and San Jose. 2 locations in the area, Prime Car Wash. You got to check them out if you haven't done it already. Take care of your car. Prime Car Wash will do that. Casey told me, Austin, said, hey, you got to check in on this number unit that we have. Access is what we call them when we're on the road.
Okay.
And I totally forgot. So I'm on, like, the one that I've been on, and he said to switch it, and I didn't. And, whew, just made it. Just made it. I mean, I've been here, but I just made it in time.
Okay, well, it's good to have you, Casey, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what he's talking about in terms of the numbers. But thankfully, we were able to get the show on the road at the right time. Nothing like waiting until the last second, but we get the job done.
Yeah, well, the show is literally on the road once again. Austin Lane, happy Friday, man. Hey, how geeked up were you back in 2010 on the eve of your first preseason game, your first NFL game? I can only imagine you probably wanted to fight the hospitality people at the hotel.
I was super geeked up, but I was also disappointed because I didn't play in it because I had a hurt hamstring. So didn't play the first game of the preseason.
Nice job, Brent. Way to remember that.
No, you're all good, man. No
Did
worries.
you just miss the first one?
I think it was the first 2, if I'm not mistaken.
That's even worse. Of course, back when there were 4. You got to say, like, back when there were 4 for the kids that just came about and, like, well, the last 2 years paid attention to the NFL because now there are 3. Last year there were none.
Yeah.
But as soon as 2 years ago there were 4.
Yep.
And so you played in the final 2 games rookie year?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have to go back and look at it real quick. I believe I played in at least the final 1, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Okay.
You're Googling yourself right now?
No, I'm Googling the Jaguars 2010 preseason schedule, and I'm trying to remember where I was and who I played against.
I tell you, man, listen, that's fine, by the way, okay? Like, I don't hold anything against you that you can't remember some of that. I am the worst at that. Like, I remember some useless stuff, but I am not good at remembering even some of the games that I played, or somebody will bring something up like about a game. Hey, remember when we were on the spring trip in like 1990? Like, they seem to know every detail about every trip and who we played and what day it was, and I am not good at that. So that was more than a decade ago, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, you now fight for a living in the cage. I don't expect you to remember all that.
No, for sure, because they're preseason games. I think I ended up playing the last 2, because we played against Tampa Bay and Atlanta. So take that for how you want. I think they went good. I mean, I made the roster after it. I was a 5th-round pick, so
they better not have cut you.
I would have made the roster. But, yeah, truth be told, I don't have a lot of memories from my first preseason games.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That is okay. Played a bunch of preseason games, in your NFL career. Here we are on a Friday. We'll be here until about 4:45 or so, 4:50, until we hand off to the Shrimp. We got another doubleheader, so been preempting the last hour of our show at times over the last couple weeks with all the reschedules. But, hey, Shrimp are playing well again. Go out to the ballpark tonight, doubleheader tomorrow. They'll be home through Sunday. This has been part of a big home stand for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and you can hear Jumbo Shrimp Baseball right here on ESPN 690. So let's get after it because we got some news in last night. This surprised me a bit, Austin, not because maybe they made the move. Joe Schobert traded to Pittsburgh. It's just the timing of it. I just thought, wow, that's kind of a weird time for a trade, isn't it? 2 days before the first preseason game?
Yeah, it is a little bit of weird timing, depending what you got from him, because I'm pretty sure that hasn't even been official yet of what they receive in return in terms of compensation. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, at least I have, where, if there was a concern with Joe Schobert, it was the fact that he was a little undersized. If you look at 3-4 inside linebackers, they're a little bigger in terms of weight, sometimes in terms of height. I don't think height means everything, but especially in weight. And when you play that inside linebacker in a 3-4, you're expected to stop that run. You're going to have a clear hole to the back. It's going to be one-on-one. And maybe, whether it was Joe Cullen, whether it was a combination of coaches that felt like, maybe he is a little undersized. Maybe he doesn't quite fit what they're looking for at that middle linebacker spot. Whatever the case may be, they went in a different direction, and that direction is going to be Damian Wilson. Damian Wilson's a guy who I think has played both middle and outside. I remember when he first signed in the Jaguars, I think it was like back in April, if I'm not mistaken. We were both under the impression, okay, it's going to be a depth guy. This is a guy who, worked with Bob Sutton, I believe, maybe a little bit, and Bob Sutton now the senior defensive whatever you want to call him here, the Jacksonville analyst. Yeah, so if there was some kind of rapport there, some kind of connection. But at the end of the day, I don't think it was really that big of a knock on Joe Schobert. Yeah, he didn't play his best brand of football last year. I just think it was a point of this guy's a little undersized, and we're looking for a little bigger of a middle linebacker to do the job for us this year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on here. I mean, it's a 5-year, $53 million deal. I don't think that this is a former Pro Bowl guy. This guy has some talent in the league. I know everybody didn't play well last year. But the one thing you can say about Joe is that he really helped Miles Jack play well. Like, we've talked about that. I mean, he led the way to be able to at least take up that position, get everybody lined up, or try to get everybody lined up, and let Miles play free and easy and fast and good. It was his best year in the NFL next to Joe Schobert. So I don't want to get crazy like, oh, Joe, thanks so much, But he did do that. I mean, he filled a position and a void to allow one of their playmaking guys to have a really good year. And Miles Jack had his best year in the NFL. What this is, you talked about this on a couple different levels. You brought up Damian Wilson. When he got here, we wondered. Like, okay, what does this mean? I mean, this is a guy that won a Super Bowl that has played Austin. Like, this is a guy that it's not at the point of his career where you just bring him in as a depth play and a special teams play. So it was curious even when that happened, and we started to wonder, and what did it mean? But I guess it was like, well, 5 years, $53 million, they're going to find a spot for a little bit of everybody. We didn't anticipate them trading Joe or cutting Joe or benching Joe with that kind of contract for Damian Wilson. But what you have said, now you hit on this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about it, and I thought you illustrated it well. And as soon as it happened last night, I was thinking of you talking about this. Those early downs in this defense, that middle linebacker's job is to go downhill. I think we even brought up Paul Posluszny's name and said, if Puz is playing in this defense right now, that's kind of the mentality and the guy that they want. Schobert, not to disrespect him in any way, I'm not saying he's not tough, but he's more the athletic style of linebacker. He's not Posluszny-esque, if you will. I think Damian Wilson brings that physical play, especially on the early downs, and that in this defense, from what you've told me, Austin, is going to be a better fit.
Yeah, I mean, it was the biggest question mark that I talked about a couple weeks ago with Joe Schobert. It's the fact that you have a guy in Joe Cullen who takes pride in stopping the run and playing a physical brand of football from his linebackers. You said it. Joe Schobert is a little more athletic. He's on the smaller side, but, uses his footwork and his speed more than actually, his physicality. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised that he does go to Pittsburgh where, Pittsburgh has predominantly been a 3-4 defense as well. And they're a defense that also takes pride in coming downhill with their middle linebackers and, playing fast, I guess you would say. Now, Mike Tomlin was quoted saying that he's a big fan of what Joe Schobert can do in coverage, and that was a big reason why Pittsburgh pursued him, if you will. But it just wasn't a fit here in Jacksonville, and it happens all the time in the NFL. Sometimes, players just don't work out. I mean, you saw this with Luke Kuechly. Now, there's no saying, well, Luke Kuechly had a laundry list of injuries as well, so he was on the back nine of his career. But the last year in Carolina, they go from a 4-3 defense to a 3-4 defense. Now, Luke Kuechly at the time, one of the best middle linebackers in the entire NFL, an all-pro, if you will. But even he had problems adapting to a 3-4 defense. He had a good year, but it wasn't a Luke Kuechly year. It wasn't an all-pro type of year for him. So whether that was a factor of why he walked away from the game, we'll maybe never know. But I'm just saying it goes to show you that you can have all the athleticism in the world. You can have all the intangibles in the world. You can be able to recognize any kind of offense, any kind of motion, whatever the case may be, and be very cerebral. But at the end of the day, if you're a little undersized, if you don't play with the physicality where you come downhill, the 3-4 defense just might not be for you in the middle linebacker position.
Yeah, it's a great explanation. I got to be honest with you. A buddy of mine asked last night, he's like, well, doesn't Pittsburgh play a 3-4? And I said, well, traditionally they do, and I think they used to. I haven't really studied Pittsburgh this year. Maybe they're changing around. No, they're not. They're 3-4 defense. And so 3-4 in Pittsburgh, 3-4 principles in Jacksonville. Why would he fit there? And I know you just said, Tomlin said, hey, we might need an athletic guy in situations, but do you look for different fits from that position depending on what you're trying to do? And what does that say about what Joe Cullen and the Jags are trying to do that might vary from typical 3-4s?
Well, first of all, every defense it's not a mirror. Like, I can sit here and say, hey, Jaguars can run a 3-4 defense. The Steelers can run a 3-4 defense. It doesn't mean schematically they're going to be even close to the same, right? Yeah, you're going to have 3 interior defensive linemen, but that's about it. So, I think whatever Pittsburgh's trying to do, once again, whether it's play more zone coverage and they trust Joe Schobert with that, maybe, they're in dire need of a middle linebacker, and this was kind of like the only the only calling that if they had it. It is what it is. Like,
it's an expensive calling, but yeah, they were a bit desperate.
No, for sure, and I don't think the Steelers have problems spending capital or money if they feel like it's gonna bolster their defense because they obviously they're a defensive first kind of team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's really interesting, that alone, right? By the way, Pittsburgh's already pretty good defensively. We were talking to Mojo. He had been there, Maurice Jones-Drew. He had been at practice the other day, and he was telling us about the other camps that he's been around. And he said, he was like giving us their offense. He said Najee Harris really good. When he stopped by Pittsburgh, he said, no, their defense is going to be really good. Yeah, and traditionally they have been. They were really good last year, and they helped carry them to as many wins as they were able to get. But that's a good defense Joe Schobert's going to, and they just put a $10 million a year linebacker into that defense as well. Again, the Jags, it sounds like from reports, are going to eat some of that money in this year, but still they unload it going forward. So it is interesting to see Schobert should do really well there, for Pittsburgh. I would see Pittsburgh fans probably pretty excited. They know him a bit too because they saw him in the division with Cleveland. It'll be really interesting to watch Joe Schobert and how he performs this year. Maybe versus like Damian Wilson here and other linebackers. I hear the Jags like their linebacker depth a lot, Austin. They really like it. They think that's going to be a tough cut down on the Jags linebacker position. So it's going to be something to watch with a trade this close with a guy of that who makes that kind of money, how much of an impact he can make on Pittsburgh. They're expected to be pretty good on that side of the ball.
No, but at the end of the day, I mean, when you have Devin Bush playing inside linebacker, I get that, but set aside from him, you got a guy by the name of Robert Spillane, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really know much about Robert Spillane. I guess he came from the Chargers, and he was an undrafted free agent. That's kind of all I can tell about him. He's got an injury history a little bit. So I don't really know a lot about the guy. He's a 10-year I don't know. I don't really know much about Robert Spillane.
Yeah.
I apologize.
He started the first couple of preseason games. That's about all I know.
Yeah, that's about it. So, obviously, I think Joe Schobert fills in right away and takes that spot, playing next to Devin Bush. Now you got T.J. Watt, you got Alex Highsmith, you got Melvin Ingram on the outside. So, yeah, it's going to be a formidable defense. I think you have a guy with Mike Tomlin or whoever's calling the shots there that said, yeah, we're great on defense. We have edge rushers. We have an intriguing guy in Devin Bush who's, starting to come to the NFL now and get used to gaining his ground, but we need another piece. And I guess Joe Schobert was that piece. It just begs the question, though, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I get he wasn't going to work here, do you wait a little longer? And I don't know what that's going to look like in the preseason if he was still here. Do you put him to second string? Is the writing on the wall? I'm not sure. But do you wait a little longer, let maybe the injuries sort themselves out a little bit, and does another team come calling, asking for more draft capital possibly because they're in dire need of a middle linebacker?
Yeah, that's a good call. Could they have had a little bit more leverage down the road? My guess to that, Austin, would be once they – say that he didn't play much. Well, you could hide him, by the way, because say he's a starter or whatever. But if he didn't play that much and people started to get the idea that you maybe are not a huge fan of Joe Schobert in this scheme and this defense and everything they're trying to do, well, then maybe you have less leverage, actually. And somebody might wait for you to either cut them or do something that you don't get much out. I don't know, because to be honest with you, the Jags didn't get much back. They're getting some late-round compensation, is everything you can read and see, and that's the word. Again, the Jags haven't even announced this yet, which is kind of odd to me that it's out there. I mean, Joe Schobert's wife announced it. I mean, Dilla announced it, so it's got to be true.
Dilla broke it.
And then, again, I think the bigger part of this, and this is what happens, I said it today, so this seems more like a salary dump than anything else and a fit dump, as we're talking about, because the salary-wise going forward on a new regime, they don't want to be hampered with a guy that they're not enamored with, they don't love. And sometimes it's just a fit in a certain place. Maybe a fit for Caldwell Marone, the rest who signed him last year, not a fit for Balky and Urban Meyer and Joe Cullen and everybody who's got this regime going forward now in this defense. And they have plenty at linebacker, including Damian Wilson, and some depth again, that they like a lot right now on this roster. And they say it's quite a battle in the back end of that depth at the linebacker position. One other note, how much do you think this would have to do with special teams play from the linebacker spot?
As in?
Well, Joe Schobert, I mean, could they have well, linebacker usually is a position of special teams. We don't know what they're going to do in terms of starters playing special teams, but I mean, could Joe Schobert have played some more special teams? Could he have been there? There's some talk out there that he's not very good on special teams. I don't even know what that looks like when you're not good on special teams.
Oh, yeah, well, and usually, I mean, you're not going to, most teams, I think, if you have a starting middle linebacker, you're not going to put him on a lot of special teams. I mean, you're just going to let him be the middle linebacker. Now, if you want to put him out there on punt team or if he's really that good, then so be it. But I don't know. I don't see a lot of starting middle linebackers in the NFL, on a lot of special teams. Yeah,
I guess my thought was they could have utilized his athleticism and stuff on the third down plays and then also on special teams, but maybe he's just not valuable enough even there to say, let's stick through him one more year.
There's no way you pay that guy that much money just to be a third down linebacker and a special teams guy. There's no way.
Yeah, and I think that's why I think it was kind of a salary dump. I mean, they just not in favor. They don't feel like the value's there. Let's see if we can get something for him and move on. And I don't know how much more of that there will be, Austin, on this roster from the leftover regime of how they built the roster. Keep in mind, that roster last year was pretty new. A lot of investment in some young players. I mean, we know like the Taven Bryans of the world certainly could be in trouble on this roster, but I'm not sure that would have been different if the same regime was here last year versus this year. So it'll be interesting to watch. Remember, there's no ties to anybody that played here before this year. It's not really on their watch, and that makes it easier to get away from when you're Urban Meyer, Trent Baalke, and this new regime here in Jacksonville. All right, the game tomorrow, Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew both going to play. What does your gut say in terms of who's running out there on that first series?
Ooh, my gut is going to tell me Gardner Minshew.
And does that matter if it is Gardner Minshew?
No, it hasn't mattered since, there was rumors that it was going to happen. I think, I think when you, and we talked about this yesterday a little bit, when you put or on the depth chart, when you put Gardner Minshew or Trevor Lawrence and there's no clear-cut favorite, I think you're going to have a situation where both guys will be rotating in with the ones or, with the respected groups. I'm not sure how much the ones are going to be playing.
I thought about this a lot more over last night and this morning a bit, and I feel like depending on how much the ones play, and I'm talking about the guys up front, like Norwell's not going to play. He's hurt. Brandon Linder, I don't know if he'll play that much. He's been around for so long. Even Urban Meyer hinted at that yesterday, that if he plays, it's not going to be long for sure, and he might not play at all. So I wonder how comfortable I would be if I'm Urban Meyer putting Trevor Lawrence out there with a combination of second team. So there's two ways to think about this. You keep the first team out there, and I'm really talking about the offensive line mostly. So you keep as much of that ones of the offensive line out there longer so you could get Minshew and Trevor Lawrence some play. Or I just think he has to roll Trevor Lawrence out there first to make sure he's got that first team protecting the franchise quarterback. If you're Urban Meyer, you cannot, and I mean you cannot, take the risk of Trevor Lawrence getting hurt because you had your second-team offensive line in there. So if there's one thing you carve the whole plan around, you definitely do not let that situation happen. The twos offensive line with Trevor Lawrence under center, nobody wants to see that, and if I'm the coach, I can't take the risk of that happening.
No, without a doubt. I mean, I think you could, theoretically see, let's say you play for one quarter. So maybe you get 3 to 4 drives, if your defense is, kind of doing their end of the deal. Let's say you get 4 drives in, 2 and 2 for Gardner Minshew and Trevor Lawrence. Maybe it's 2 Minshew, 1 Lawrence. Maybe you go just the first drive of the second quarter then to make it even. But no, I don't think there's going to be a lot of, Trevor Lawrence with the backups. Now, there might be a series or so, but I don't see that being the trend here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm just trying to think like the head coach, and just say, listen, you don't want anybody to get hurt. Obviously, the whole wrestling match is here. What's the balance between getting to September 12th healthy and getting the reps in? But I just can't do – like there's some things I would just cross off, right? And I am not putting myself out there as the head coach and my franchise quarterback out there with the second team to even run the risk. And by the way, I think the Jags have some depth at line. That's not really as much a disrespect to their line as it is I just don't want to even play with that kind of karma. but
also that's the case then if we're 100% worried about then I feel like you have to announce Trevor as a starter.
Yeah, I think you do. That's my point, I guess, to the conversation. Okay. When I thought about it more last night and this morning, I think I have to go with Trevor running out there. I just think because of what I just said, and I don't know how long. I guess the back-end question is, like you said, how long do you keep the first team out there? But I would roll Trevor out first and then bring in Gardner. And Gardner can maybe get a series with the ones, but it's probably going to go with the twos quite a bit too. We'll see what happens. Hey, coming up a little bit later on, I want to get 3 players on the offensive side, 3 players on the defensive side that are not named Trevor Lawrence that you're keeping an eye on in this game. More to come. We're here at Prime Car Wash on Beach Boulevard. 20% off if you mention ESPN 690. Come on by, say hello. We'll be here till about 5 o'clock. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
An 8 on the weather meter. Sunshine this afternoon with only isolated showers and storms. Temperatures ranging from between 85 and 90 at the beaches to 90 to 95 inland and only dropping into the mid-70s tonight. Partly sunny tomorrow. A few showers near the coast in the morning and then scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms with highs near 90 degrees. And Sunday, on and off showers and storms as Fred moves into the Gulf of Mexico. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s. For the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beard's Diamonds.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late, and that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock Inventory Management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you think about Jacksonville, you think about a city that is surrounded by water. And being by water afforded Jacksonville to have one of the largest container ports in the entire country. And another fun fact that RV sales are at an all-time high right now. But what does this all mean? What am I getting at? It means that there's high-paying jobs available for those that know the ins and outs of the marine side and of the land side of recreational vehicles. And this is where JTech comes into play. JTech offers a program where you can learn about the diagnostic procedures and effective repair methods of a variety of recreational vehicles, including motorhomes and RVs, power boats, jet skis, diesel and gasoline, outboard and inboards, and much more. And they also help prepare students to take the Yamaha certification exam, which is required in the Marine Maintenance Certification Program. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org.
A car wash with spacious lounges and Wi-Fi, Starbucks coffee as well. Prime Car Wash has all of that while your car or truck gets cleaned. For moms and dads, there are even child-friendly lounges. Full-service interior and exterior wash while you wait. Prime Car Wash is convenient for you. It was for me. I went to the Beach Boulevard location, and there's one on San Jose as well. Give it a try. You can even get a membership. Let Prime Car Wash take care of your vehicle while you take care of your family, or even do a little work. Prime Car Wash, clean inside, clean outside.
This is Mayor Lenny Curry, and I want to encourage you to get a COVID-19 vaccine. Right now, our local hospitals are seeing an influx of COVID-19 patients, and the unvaccinated are experiencing the most severe symptoms. Rest assured, COVID-19 vaccines have received and continue to undergo the most intensive safety monitoring in U.S. history. Protect yourself and your Jacksonville neighbors and get vaccinated. This message is brought to you by the doctors of the Duval County Medical Society.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
Hey, boss, I found some silverware in the dining room.
Nice. So you're sure you smashed the alarm system when we got here, right?
You mean that plug-and-play do-it-yourselfer? Yeah, it's dead. We got all the time we need.
Oh, look at this. The box the alarm system came in. Isn't this cute?
An alarm system in a box. Boss, I'll never understand why people don't just get a SafeTouch security system.
And they probably think they're saving money.
But that's the thing, they're not saving money.
You and I know that. Thankfully, these folks didn't. You know, there are a lot of great things that come from a box. This isn't one of them.
True.
Hey, let's just take a minute to appreciate that tonight, we don't have to worry about the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. And remember, kids, boxes and alarm systems don't mix.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. We appreciate all the support over the years of our Action Sports Shack Stream 18. Almost $200,000 raised for local charities. We want you to be a part of this year's edition of the Action Sports Shack Stream 18 Golf Tournament. It'll be September 20th at the Golf Club at Southampton, brought to you by Cadillac. Come check it out, be a part of it, get a foursome, a tea sponsor, maybe get your business involved. Go to actionsportsshacksdream18.com. Help give back to local charities that support junior golf and also the local military. actionsportsshacksdream18.com.
Hey, one of those things you probably want to do on the weekend, clean up that garage a little bit. Let me help you out. Don't worry about cleaning up the garage anymore. All you have to do is go to Easy Garage Solutions. Coming home, walking through shoes and bats and bikes and balls and everything else that's laying all over the floor on your way to the door, Easy Garage Solutions can take care of it. They took care of it for me. I couldn't wait to get it done, and they did a tremendous job. One-of-a-kind monkey bar technology. It'll last a lifetime. Hang the bikes and the lawn equipment. Easy Garage Solutions, shelving and overhead storage for boxes and bins. Easy Garage Solutions. Check them out at easyGarageSolutions.com. You'll be glad you did. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy. Brent Martineau and Austin Lane. Casey on a Friday here until almost 5 o'clock. We hand off to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp game right here on ESPN 690. And, of course, talking a lot of football, and we'll continue to talk football. Quick thought. We'll get into probably more conversation. Did you watch the Field of Dreams game last night, fellas?
I did.
Yeah.
Did you love it?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Chef's kiss. Mwah, couldn't get enough of it.
I feel like I said this about something recently, and I don't know what it was. It was a couple weeks ago. In this day and age, like in our world, it is so hard to find things that people don't complain about. You know? It's because of social media. Like, everybody just will disagree just to disagree, you know? And then there's all different opinions, and everybody's so critical, and it's easy to be critical on Twitter and everything else. And there was something that happened, I feel like a few weeks ago, too, and I was like, man, everybody agreed that was like a good viewing experience or whatever it might be. Feels like Ted Lasso's a little bit like that, Austin. You might want to check it out.
Yeah, in due time. I mean, eventually I'll get to it.
I finished season 1 yesterday. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, this was like that. I can't find anybody that didn't like what they saw last night. The Field of Dreams, the game, the production by Fox. I thought everything. You say chef's kiss. I agree with you, man. I thought everything was just spot on.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really cool atmosphere. It makes you want to, you want like a couple games to happen like that every single year, and hopefully they will. I think the game couldn't have went any better in terms of just the drama towards the end there. It was the perfect debut. It was the perfect product to put out there for the MLB as something different to get people excited. And I think, Major League Baseball will be doing themselves a disservice if they don't take that model and use it a lot more.
Yeah, Casey, you're a baseball guy, man. Did you enjoy that, even if Major League is your baseball movie more than Field of Dreams?
Yeah, it was cool, man. I agree they should do more of that. They should maybe look into the Sandlot, doing something like that. But the actual Field of Dreams, the game from last night was incredible. I think the amount of home runs that were hit and they just disappear into the corn and the foul balls, I thought that was really cool. And I like how they're doing it didn't work out well for Liam Hendricks after he came in the game. But when they interview him during the game, when they do stuff like that, I think that just brings a whole other level to what's going on. They only do it in the All-Star game and stuff like that, but that was a really, really good idea. I like that. Didn't work out for him, but he got the win. So it is.
Yeah, you got to be careful of that stuff because like White Sox fans, and by the way, me too, because I'm not a Yankees fan, was like, I wish I didn't interview him during the game. That's why he pitched so poorly, which really had nothing to do with that probably. But that's the hesitation of teams and players. But you're right about that. One of my favorite parts of the All-Star game when they mic up the players, Bryant in left field, or they've done the shortstops over the year. They've done everybody. But that is just a great inside look to what those guys are thinking. And even, Fred, I'm a big baseball guy. I played baseball, and you learn stuff from those guys, what they're thinking during the moment, like in the All-Star game when they're willing to do that. So I agree with you. I think that interaction is great. I don't know if they can do that more regularly, but I would love to see it. I think everybody would love to see that stuff. The game just delivered as well. I'll give you one more element I thought was really cool, and that is I think sometimes I think you can miss from a TV perspective. And maybe it's just because in the business, but I was really interested at how they would produce that, guys. And I thought they did a great job. I thought they had a nice balance between tying in the movie Field of Dreams and what was going on. And the pictures were gorgeous. I mean, it didn't hurt them at all that it was a beautiful night in Iowa, the sunsets and everything else. The whole thing was just really cool, man. I mean, I think it's tremendous. And the Yankees lost. I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Can't get any better than that. Yeah, the intro is really cool where the players are walking through the corn and everything onto the field. It was, obviously, I mean, it was really cool from TV. I can only imagine being there in person, on a Thursday night watching some baseball. It was just, like I said, I hope they do a lot more things like that.
How many things, guys, seriously, do you watch on TV from an event standpoint and you say, man, I wish I I want to go to that. Like, I want to go to that next year. Like, it doesn't happen very often, right?
Maybe the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe, but and not because of what they do on TV to showcase it, just that it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, nothing too much for me.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe there's a concert. You know, like
yeah. I mean, like anytime you watch like festivals, like they're streaming. I mean, if it's a band that you're into or a group that you're into, you're definitely wishing, oh man, I wish I was there for that. Obviously, like watching the Milwaukee Bucks do their thing. I mean, I want to be there for that for my own selfish reasons. So
the Deer District, right?
The Deer District for sure. But once again, I mean, also didn't want to get COVID 25 or whatever they're up to now. So we're all good. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like there's always those special those games or like those festivals or whatever you're into where you want to be there. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Where I was watching last night, I'm like that would be really cool to be at that thing.
Yeah, just think, man. You and Cody and Ronan going to that game. I mean, you don't have to be the beautiful thing about events like that is you don't have to be a huge baseball fan, right? Like I say that about the Players Championship all the time. Players Championship, it's got awesome golf if you are a golf fan. But it's not just for the golf fan. The Kentucky Derby, heck, people don't even know what the hell they're betting on. They don't even know what they're watching half the time. It's an event. It felt like that kind of event for me on a smaller scale, which I think the quaint nature of it, if you will, made it even better. And knowing that it would be a tough ticket to get. So I thought that it just had everything. It was a great night for baseball. I've gone back and forth on Twitter a little bit, and some people wonder if it will really help the game in the long run. I don't know. There's a million reasons why the game, doesn't hit every generation right now. But I'll tell you this: last night hit every generation. Like my kids were asking about it. I think you had older people asking about it. I could give you somebody in the teens, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s that were asking and talking about that game last night. That's one hell of a way to brand baseball if you can get all those people interested.
Do you think the younger generations are into Field of Dreams, though? Like, do you think they know the movie?
No.
Because, like, that's who it has to be for, right? Like,
I bet they're watching it this weekend.
Sure.
That's my point. My point is they saw that and they were like, man, what is that? What's that? That's pretty cool. Yeah. I bet there will be more views of Field of Dreams in the next week, and I bet more kids will watch it than have watched it in the last 20 years. And it's because of that game last night. I think that's what happens in a lot of different things. If I see something and people are like, well, yeah, that's based off of this or that, I want to go find the documentary, right? I want to go watch it. Well, I think that's listen, everybody was talking about Ted Lasso for the last 6 months.
Yes.
I would never have watched Ted Lasso, except every time I saw somebody tweet about it or say something about it, they loved it. And I'm like, hey, Steph, hey, guys, we got to watch this. Everybody says it's awesome. I have no idea, but let's watch it. And then I watched 10 episodes in 6 days, and I never do that.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you if somebody could track the views and the Google searches and the YouTube whatever of Field of Dreams over the next week, it'll be massively up over the last 20 years because that's what happens. And so I think the whole thing ties together for a lot of different age groups, and it surrounds a baseball and a bat and a Major League Baseball logo, and that has to be pretty good for the sport, I think. And I was even thinking it like this. One more thought on it. Kimbrel got traded around the deadline, right, Casey?
That is correct, yes.
So I bet there were so many guys last night. It's very few times that you can kind of make a big leaguer or make a professional athlete feel like a kid again, right? Championship times, they do that. They'd play for free to win a championship. There's just nothing like it. There's probably the All-Star game for a lot of these guys the first time. By the third time, it's whatever. And it's still fun, but it's kind of whatever. I think it was that kind of moment for the biggest stars in the game, like Judge and Stanton and others. And so I was thinking of Kimbrel. I'm like, hey, how about this? A month ago, he was playing for the Cubs.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been able to play in this game, and now he's pitching in this game, wearing that uniform in Iowa. What an experience. He'll be telling his kids about that, his grandkids about that. And then I thought about it from the opposite view. I feel bad for the players that are no longer on the teams that were supposed to play in it last year, and they're watching on TV. They were probably like, man, I wish I played in that thing.
No, for sure. I mean, it's one of those things where, and once again, we'll see how they handle this going forward. I assume they're going to have more games like this, but teams are going to be chomping at the bit to take part of this. If you're a baseball player how could you not want to play, in the Field of Dreams? So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely I think it's a really prestigious honor. It's going to be hard to match last night's game, but it's definitely an honor to play in that.
And, Brent, what you said on the flip side, it's hard to feel bad for the Yankees, but how about Anthony Rizzo, who wasn't supposed to play in the game, then thought he was going to be in the game and gets COVID and wasn't even there. So
that's a good point.
That's unfortunate for him.
And by the way, Rizzo is right out of the movie.
Right.
Like you put one of those old unis on. There were some guys last night, and I thought actually Kimbrel was one of them, but there were some guys that just looked like they could have been an actor in the movie.
Yeah.
And I thought that part was pretty cool. So the whole thing was great. Good for baseball. I love baseball, but I know it's had its missteps over the years. I thought that was really good. All right, I said I wasn't going to talk the whole segment about it. I did anyway. Had us that fired up, and I think the numbers were really good for it, too. And that's against NFL football, some preseason football. So a good night for Major League Baseball. Hey, do we have Steven on the line? I know we've kept him a while. Let's get to Steven. I think he had a comment about Joe Schobert. What's up, man?
Yeah, how you guys doing today?
We're good, man. How you doing?
It's been a hard day working. First of all, Brent's question earlier, I'm going to answer that real quick. Offense, my three players are Walker Little, Travis Etienne, and Laquan Treadwell. Defense, Tyson Campbell, Devon Hambone Hamilton, and Andre Sisco. But my main question is, and, I hate to disagree with the syndicate leader that is Austin, so please don't be mad at me.
You're all good, man. It's Friday. It's not possible.
Come on. I love when he gets mad at me.
I think the Jaguars are going to keep 7 wide receivers and not 6. And maybe the release of Joe Schobert, I agree with Brent, and I know I normally don't do that, but I agree with him, kind of salary cap. He's from the past regime. He doesn't fit the scheme. But also, I think they might make a little extra room because you got your 3 main lock players, and then you got Agnew, your special return man. But in my opinion, they want to keep 3 extra wide receivers that are actually going to be out there catching the ball and not returning it mainly. So I think they go with the main 3, and I think Colin Johnson for your red zone situations, being as tall as he is. I think they go with Philip Dorsett just because, Urban talks about him a lot with the speed factor. And this is where I really, Brent's been at the practices. I don't think they want to let go of Laquan Treadwell. He is impressed for coming right off the street and playing in this system.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, Steven. That's a lot to digest there, but gets back to keeping receivers and a lot of depth and competition at receivers. It's just going to be interesting what they do and how they classify Austin Agnew because he's primarily a punt return guy, okay? He's not going to factor into the passing game. How do they classify his position? How do they justify potentially keeping a 7th receiver, which is quite a bit? I mean, that's a lot, but they value him. Right? They value special teams. They value Agnew. They went out and got him. I think he was the first signing for Urban Meyer in this regime.
So the way you justify it would be if you have one of those guys in that group who's a special teams ace. Back when I played with Montel Owens, yeah, he was the special teams guy, but he's also a running back, and he actually got some reps at running back. If we look at this wide receiver core right now, we can ask, okay, out of any of these wide receivers, can you see a guy that can, play punt, punt team, that can go on punt block team, that can go on punt return, kickoff return, all of this stuff? Because keep in mind, usually your receivers, they're going to be gunners or they're going to be, to try to stop the gunners. So there's not a lot of reps to go around at those positions. But if you see a guy like Colin Johnson, who's obviously bigger bodied, who I can actually foresee maybe playing on the punt team, not necessarily being a gunner, but actually maybe on the line, well, then, yeah, maybe you have something there. So I'm not going to lose my cool about possibly keeping 7 receivers. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it was, I could see them justifying it by saying, all right, Colin Johnson's our special teams ace. He's not just a wide receiver. He's on every single special teams. He's on, he's on the big 4 and then maybe even field goal and all that stuff as well. So you can definitely justify it.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's just a lot to like about some of the positions on the roster, and I think there are some serious battles going on internally, and I think that's why that winner-loser type of thing is going to settle some of it, Austin. I think that's why Urban Meyer wanted to take some of the subjectivity out of it. And we'll see how much he goes by what the scoreboard says, on each rep when it comes time for cuts. Which, by the way, we'll come up with a handful of folks next week, and then another handful after that, and then finally on August 31st, they're going to have to get down to 53. We've got some cars lined up here at Prime Car Wash, Beach Boulevard. Come get your car wash. Tell them that you heard it on ESPN 690, and you get 20% off your wash. So how about that? We are on the Beach Boulevard location. You can do the same in San Jose. But if you want to say hi to us, hey, you got to come by here on Beach. Prime Car Wash will be here for another hour or so with Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, then hand off to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp game on a Friday. We'll be back, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Cam Newton threw for, I believe, 7+ in the first 3 games. 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. He rushed for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns prior to COVID. Now let's go post-COVID. Not very good. No Julian Edelman. No defense. And they still had an opportunity to win close to 10 games.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the South Side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class. There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Temperatures keep climbing, and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Is your home not feeling very new anymore? Sick of that pink bathroom tile, popcorn ceilings, a stove older than you are? Whether it's repairs or reno, finance it smart with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, where you can borrow up to 90% of your home's appraised value. You've got good taste, but your block counters ain't cheap. So get to work and open a Honeydew HELOC with 1-to-1 Financial. When you do, we'll send you a free handyman tool set to get started. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's a national sales event at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, and Arlington's got over 400 used available. Yep, 400. Come to Arlington Pre-Owned and you'll find Jeeps, Chevys, Fords, Hondas, Toyotas, imports, domestics. Arlington's got it all. Plus, during the national sales event, enjoy no payments until 2022. 2022. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange program with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/August for full details.
If you live in the Southeast, you know that air conditioning is king. And as the population grows, so does the need for more AC units, which means that there's more demand for technicians. And guess what? The HVAC industry is growing 13% faster than your average job, according to the 2018 Bureau of Labor Statistics. And on top of that, the average pay is over $22 an hour. And this is where JTech comes in. When you attend the HVAC-R program at JTech, you'll get the hands-on training that is focused on understanding the different types of HVAC systems systems, logical diagnostic procedures, effective repair methods, and so much more. And by the end of the program, you're going to be trained on all the necessary areas that employees are looking for so you can be their first-round pick as a technician or an installer. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, get a $10 gift card when you buy a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 motor oil for $27.99. A deal so rich, they'll call you an oil tycoon. Yep, with great oil for $27.99 and $10 back. All you'll need is a monocle. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations does not include state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Advertised sales price may not be available in some states. Rebate restrictions apply. Offer ends 8/31/21.
Cam Newton's going to start this year. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And what they're going to do is, as long as he's performing and they're winning games and they don't have that major slump or lull in the middle of the season like they did last year, then Cam will remain the starter and they'll continue to get him opportunities when they can, whether it's in a game where, I used to go in the game when I was a rookie when we were getting blown out in the game and run the 2-minute drill at the end of the game, or if we had a big lead, I'd get an opportunity there. But the fact of the matter is, at any given point in the season, if Cam is struggling, this team is struggling, they're not in rhythm, I don't think that they'll hesitate to go to Mac Jones and see if they can give that offense an advantage and be better.
Man, I don't know who that is. Is that a new talent on ESPN? Former quarterback?
That's the boy, Matt Castle.
Oh, jeez. We could have been here all day for that. My gosh. Whew. Matt Castle engineered an 11-5 season for the Patriots. How about that?
Say it one more time, I'm sorry?
He was 11-5 for the Patriots.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and then you got all that money.
He got all that money. He was 11-5. They didn't make the playoffs that year, if I remember correctly. Even at 11-5. But that was the year Brady missed. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey, spinning some Matt Castle on Mac Jones and Cam Newton's situation. Live at Prime Car Wash, Beach Boulevard. 20% off if you mention ESPN 690 here until they close today. 7 o'clock they'll close here in San Jose location. So 20% off a car wash. Beautiful sunny afternoon, at least where I'm standing and sitting. So come on out, say hello here to Prime Car Wash. They'll take care of you. They got the best of the best while you wait and also for your vehicle. Cam Newton, I think Castle was kind of like Cam Newton's going to have that gig all year. I don't know if I agree with that, man. I don't know if in fact, no, I don't agree with that. I don't even have to, I don't know. I just think Cam's kind of done. It doesn't mean he can't flash a little brilliance here or there. He's a tremendous athlete, and he's had some really good success. My gosh, it goes downhill fast, though, especially when you have injuries. He feels like he's he doesn't look that bad physically now in a uniform. He still looks imposing. But his game just feels so old to me and feels so, my God, it's a distant past from when he was really doing well. I think it was 2015. I think Mac Jones is going to take this job sooner than later. I liked what Mac did last night.
No, Mac looked good. I think with Cam Newton, listen, Cam Newton was at his best when he had the ability to run as well, right? And defenses, that they had to plan for that. I mean, I remember playing against him, I think it was my second year, and we played in Carolina. And, he was definitely at that time a hard guy to game plan for because you had to change your pass rush lanes. You had to change your entire blitzing philosophy just because if he got out of the pocket, he was that deadly. Now, injuries have caught up to him. Age has caught up to him. So he has to rely more on his arm, which was never really his strongest skill set. But then when you see plays by Jonnu Smith last night and you see like what it could look like, Cam Newton doesn't have to be an MVP type caliber player for the Patriots to be successful. I still believe that they have a lot of talent on that roster. I think their defense can play complementary football. What they need Cam Newton to do is be a game manager and not turn the ball over. I think he can do that. I think if he can do that, he's going to keep his job. Now, if you start losing games, obviously, then it's a different story. So if you're asking me, I think by the time it's week 7 or 8, I think Cam Newton's still going to have the job.
Interesting. I just put out there, I think by October sometime, like I'm not saying October 1, but I think by October 31, I think Mac Jones is the quarterback of the New England Patriots.
Sounds like a bet, Brent. Sounds like a bet. All
Halloween.
right.
Halloween or bust.
All right. I got it.
All right.
Lock it in.
Add it to the bets. Man, we're going to have to give like some money to charity or something with all these bets. Well, you're going to have to give some money to charity.
Well, and this is coming from the guy who only won one of like 8 bets last year.
That was just a tune-up.
Okay.
Pandemic.
Okay.
Those were pandemic problems.
Okay.
Mac Jones, quarterback before Halloween. Starting guy in New England. It was good to see Mac. Did you see the ovation he got? I mean, Patriots fans were pretty excited. I don't know if I mean, it's a first-round pick, but I didn't expect it to be kind of that thunderous for him. It was pretty good.
Really good, yeah,
It's
absolutely.
almost like they see what everybody else kind of sees with Cam. He's definitely a bridge, and just a matter of how long it's going to be.
No, without a doubt. And by the way, Chase Young's pretty good as well.
Chase Young is pretty good. He is pretty good. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
I like when guys get pumped up and they're said to be like these unbelievable generational talent guys, and they deliver.
Yeah.
Let's hope the one we got here does the same.
For sure.
Hey, we'll be back 4 o'clock hour coming up. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Coming out, say hello. Prime Car Wash, Beach Boulevard in San Jose, but we're at the Beach Boulevard location. A car wash with spacious lounges and Wi-Fi, Starbucks coffee as well. Prime Car Wash has all of that while your car or truck gets cleaned. For moms and dads, there are even child-friendly lounges. Full-service interior and exterior wash while you wait. Prime Car Wash is convenient for you. It was for me. I went to the Beach Boulevard location, and there's one on San Jose as well. Give it a try. You can even get a membership. Let Prime Car Wash take care of your vehicle while you take care of your family. Or even do a little work. Prime Car Wash, clean inside, clean outside.
Hi, Steve. Have a seat. I just wanted to see how your meeting with Chardonnay went.
Chardonnay?
According to your Peak push-to-talk device, you were with Chardonnay or Porsche or Bambi.
Oh, Bambi, right.
I clicked boop to talk, and I was talking, but you weren't booping.
I can explain.
Love these little things. I know exactly where my people are anytime I need them. Boop.
I was in a boopin' meeting. We got the contract to build the champagne room at the Jiggle and Wiggle Gentlemen's Club.
You have glitter all over your face.
Find your people with a boop. BoopToTalk.com.
Boop. It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk. We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas, but it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait-and-switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all-talk, no-walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com.
5G is here,
But the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still, because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
For at least another week. He's been out for 6 weeks now after being accused of sexual assault. A hearing for a temporary restraining order against him is scheduled to start Monday in Los Angeles. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports veteran running back Dion Lewis is retiring from the NFL. Lewis played for the Giants last season. He won a title with the Patriots in Super Bowl 51. Jalen Hurts started for the Eagles in their preseason opener and played for 2 possessions against the Steelers. He isn't officially the starter yet, but he's been taking all of the first-team reps. ESPN's Louis Riddick.
Jalen Hurts, to me, looked like a guy who has taken a step as far as from year 1 to year 2 in terms of his confidence, his command as far as what the offense is trying to get done on the football field, although this is with the new coaching staff.
Nick Sirianni is the Eagles' new head coach. Last night was his first game in charge at any level.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
First of all, to win the game. I mean, that's the main goal. I know, like I said, some people look at it differently. Here, it's just the first game for us. So whoever's in there is trying to win that game. And I guess individually for me, it's just to do my job. Nothing more than that. If I do my job, it'll put us in a position to win. So that's all I'm looking at doing is every play, doing the best I can, and putting us in a good spot, getting it to our playmakers. That's all it is being a quarterback, is getting it to our best players. So that's all I'm going to do.
That is Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback. Will he get the start tomorrow? We'll see. Will he play? Absolutely. What will he look like? We'll find out. Saturday night, 7 o'clock inside the stadium. Only preseason game. So you check that one out. I expect a pretty good crowd on a Saturday